Hey everybody, I'm Greg.
And I'm Katy. Welcome to the Meeple Society. Today we are finishing our top 100
For the second time.
with the final 10. But before we get started, as always, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content, and of course hit that bell icon if you want notification of future content.
Or if you hit the link below, you can find all of our social media.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes, as I said, we're doing this for the second time. It's Katy's fault. She left her mic off.
I did not leave it off. It did not, it didn't clip in all the way. See, it didn't clip. I'm not going to unclip it right now because that would be bad. But it didn't, anyway. Yes, it was my fault.
So on that note, we already know each other's top 10, so
Yeah, but that was
we're still gonna surprise you. So what we've done is we've taken our top 10 and we scrambled them all up and printed them off. We don't know where they're at, so we'll see where they go. Right?
We were supposed to do that?
You didn't do that?
No, I didn't. No.
We're not gonna do that?
No.
Go ahead and say yours. I'll have to go get my old list. Whew, okay, found it. Did you already do yours?
No, I was too busy laughing. Because.
Okay.
Okay, anyway.
We'll act surprised. How about that?
That was a week ago. Do you know how much has happened in the last week? I do not remember your top 10. Of course, your number one I know because it hasn't changed in years. But anyway.
2 years ago, it was a different game.
Whatever. Anyway, my top 10. Or my number 10, I should say.
You're going to do the whole top 10.
I'll do the whole top 10. You can leave now. My number 10. This is my favorite deck builder by far. I don't think anything above it is a deck builder. It is not. That's good. This is my favorite deck builder. Has been for a very long time. Last year it was number 4. The only reason I think it dropped just a hair this year is we don't get to play it as often as I would like to, for one. And two, there have been so many good games come out this year we have been able to play. Mm-hmm. My number 10 is Legendary, a Marvel deck building game. I have always loved this one. I don't know if it was because it wasn't the first deck builder I was ever introduced to, but it was one of the first. It is the first one that not only built the deck as you go along, because we played Magic and things like that. I never got into Magic.
Well, that was you pre-built the deck.
Exactly, you pre-built the deck, and I know it is.
Trains is the first one I think you played.
Yes, Trains is the first one I was introduced to, but everything with Trains was contained in the box. Whereas this one, you could buy your favorite characters, and I've always liked the Marvel characters anyway. But this one, you could buy your favorite characters and use those, and I love how versatile this is, where there are dozens of masterminds and dozens of different types of villains, and I would not be afraid to say hundreds of various heroes you could add in now. We stopped collecting at one point because it has outgrown our box, or is threatening to outgrow the box. So we stopped collecting at that point. But yeah, I absolutely adore this one. That is my favorite deck builder. My number 10, Legendary, a Marvel deck building game.
Okay. Yep, that's a good one. I don't know where it fell. I don't remember if it was in my top 10 or not. It's been so long.
Yeah.
Let me look real quick and we can go on from there. Marvel.
Legendary.
Legendary. 51.
Okay. Well, yeah.
So it was in my top 10.
I had that written right there.
Yeah, look at that. Okay, my number 10 is I guess my favorite Earth Day game.
Earth? Yeah, I didn't remember.
Good guess. Yeah, this is a cool tableau builder, and it's one of those tableaus that you have to figure out how you're going to build it. You got to watch how you're building it, because as you put cards into the tableau, they could activate before supposed to activate before other types of cards go off, and then it wouldn't activate. So you got to watch how you're doing that. And it's one of those. If I pick the action for the round, I get something special. Everybody else gets the weaker part of it.
Yeah, everybody acts no matter what. Yeah.
Fun game. We have the first Kickstarter hasn't delivered to us yet.
Yes, we have the base game.
I have seen it's been delivered in places, but not to us yet.
Yes, we have not gotten it. I have not even gotten an email, but I don't know if I will.
The new expansion's due to go to Kickstarter.
It did on Earth Day.
It did on Earth Day.
So it did last week. I need to look. I haven't even had time to look at it yet, so I want to look at that.
But yep, that is my number 10, Earth.
My number 9 is new to the list. It is my favorite of the Shem Phillips line of games. This is Wayfarers of the South Tigris. I don't know. I love the exploration of this one. I love the dice manipulation. I love the dice placement. This is one where you are building out the ocean and the sky. You're building two separate sections off of your board, I should say. And I don't know, it just feels like you're exploring a little bit. And each of those cards that you're adding into your display in front of you give you additional powers. They give you additional actions.
It's a cool engine building type of game.
Yeah, it is. And then along with that, it's all the dice placement and the dice manipulation. I just love this one. It is my favorite of the Shem Phillips games. And I think it's because of that space exploration, that sky exploration aspect to it. It's always fascinated me. Anyway, that's my number 9, Wayfarers of the South Tigris.
This is my number 9. Of course it is, because that was your number 9. But this is a good game based on 1977.
Oh, okay.
This is Rock Hard 1977, all about you becoming a rock star, and you become it faster if you miss work more than 3 times. But this is all about going through and you're working on getting your a demo tape set or recorded, so then you can try and get a record contract all the time, going to work, doing interviews, working. Being in the studio to make songs.
It's the life of a struggling
work on
artist.
Your tracks, go to gigs, go hang out in the afterlife and still getting up in the morning and going to work.
The afterlife?
It is the after hours.
Okay.
Did I say afterlife? Well, some rock stars are there. So anyway, but this is all from Jackie Fox, formerly of the bassist from the Runaways. And it's a really good game. And it's like one of the top runners for the Golden Geeks this year, too.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, this is on my list. I don't remember what it was. I think you have it written down as a crossover.
I have it written down as a crossover. It was your 86, so you didn't like it as much as I did.
It was better than
this. I think this is a very thematic
I think it's very
game.
thematic, and I did enjoy it. That's why it made the top 100, because had we not played it a few more times after we bought it,
It would have made your top 300.
It would not have made my top 300. I did not enjoy my first play of it, probably because it was so late.
Yep.
But anyway, it's a good one.
Great game. Try it out. Rock Hard 1977, my number 9.
Well, my number 8 takes us from the South Tigris over to the Amazon. This is Life of the Amazonia. This is a habitat building tile. I don't want to say tile placement, because you're not really placing tiles. You're placing animals out. It's a bag builder. You are gathering and purchasing pieces to put into your bag that, as you pull them out, will entice specific animals into your habitats. And meanwhile, you're trying to build the habitats that those animals want. It was a follow-up to Wild Serengeti, and I think they definitely hit it out of the park with this one. Just neat production. The animals are adorable. There's multiple scoring options on every animal, so I love that. Kind of like Cascadia did, where each animal gives you 3 or 4 different scoring cards. So if for one gets too easy, just trade out and get new scoring options for it. I love this one. I love the bag building aspect. I love the tactile feel of we have the upgraded pieces, so that might be part of it. But yeah, I absolutely adore this one. But that is Life of the Amazonia, my number 8.
Yep. The artwork on this one's really good.
The artwork is beautiful.
I can't figure it out. I struggle with this one.
We need to play it more.
Well, even when we have played it, I've struggled with this one.
We need to play it more. Do you have to?
My number 8 is a space-themed game that we just played recently in Virginia.
Okay.
This is Space Station Phoenix. Okay. This is all about going out. It's aliens visiting the orbit of Earth to keep an eye on what's going on there, and they need to build a space station. And the only way you can do that is the resources you brought with you. And when you run out of that, you got to start ripping apart your ships for the metal. But the thing is, your ships are your actions. So as you rip away a ship, you're losing that action for the rest of the game to be able to build your space station, which is going to start gaining you points and aliens and different things that could happen. Though.
It'll help with some resources, but it doesn't help with actions. Yeah.
But yep, this one's a lot of fun, I think. I mean, like I said, we got a more recent play of it, and I already liked it from the times we've played it before, though. And then our recent play
definitely cemented it for me. That play was really fun, because I think that was the first time we'd ever played it 4-player. That was really good.
But this is known as a deconstruction game.
Yes. Yeah, that is. You're destroying your actions.
That is my number 8, Space Station Phoenix.
My number 7 takes us down to the bottom of the ocean, essentially. In this one, you are building cities under the water to harvest the resources in the sea. This is underwater cities. I love the building part of this one. I think that is what gets me on this one, is building out those cities and building out your network. So you're building various little domed cities in the ocean and connecting them with tunnels, and around each city you're building various plants. And technically this is a worker placement. Your workers are little cardboard pieces, that's all they are, but you're putting those out in order to do the actions in that area. And if you can play a card that matches the color of that action, then you get some bonuses on top of that. You get the card action as well. I love this one. I have always loved the pieces to this are fantastic. One of my favorites, always has been. But yeah, my number 7, Underwater Cities.
This one's a good one. And it's another one that
we need to play it more.
I just haven't been able to figure out how to
play it more.
Get a good engine of some type going in that. I just failed.
Somebody tell him.
I fail on this city building part.
In order to get better at the game, you have to play it more. You have to play it more.
Okay. Tell that person who made that other series of videos up. Anyway, my number 7 is also, we're going to just stay in the ocean. And this is a game you actually played last night at our birthdays.
Oh.
This is Aquatica. And I think
good
this was
one.
your 95. So apparently I liked it more. But I think the reason I liked it, at first this game just wasn't much for me. I didn't like it as much.
I've always enjoyed it.
No, it was
but-
44 last year, so it's raced quite a bit. But, I mean, I enjoyed it. I liked what it did, but I think the newest expansion, what is it, Cold Waters or Coral Reef? Or what is it
Cold
called?
Waters is the first expansion. Coral Reef is the newest.
Okay, Coral Reef. Coral Reef is the one that brought
Cemented it for you, yeah.
Yes, because of the new things that's going to happen and the new things that happens when you actually draft a card, because now you could get a new power to put over your board where you're sliding your cards through.
Yeah.
So when you do it, you're going to get this power as well.
Yeah.
So it's giving you more things. So I think it's a little bit easier to build kind of an engine with it.
Yeah. We didn't play with Coral Reef last
you did
night
not
because
play
I was
last night. You
playing with
played
3
base
brand
game.
new players.
Yep.
So
But I think Coral Reef is the reason why it's up to number 7 now.
I agree.
think
Coral
it's
Reef
one
is really
expansion.
good.
I don't know if I'd play the game again without it.
I did last night, and it's still enjoyable. We used Cold Waters, but the Cold Waters just added the cards. We didn't use any of the modules, but it's still a great game. Yeah, I agree.
Well, that's my number 7, Aquatica.
All right, my number 6 is another one that is new to the list. This is one I got a chance to play this weekend as well. First time I've ever played it 5-player, which was a bit long. Still did not win it. This is Apiary. Bees in space. Matter of fact, one girl was, when I was playing it Friday night, somebody texted one of the girls and asked what she was playing. She goes, Space Bees, because she couldn't remember the
Space
name of it.
Bees.
So, yeah, Space Bees. Anyway, in Apiary, you are playing a race of bees that is trying to basically build out your hive. It is a worker placement where little by little, as you are placing them out and then calling your bees back to the hive, they are essentially getting older. And once they get to level 4 and you have to call them back, they retire or they hibernate. And at that point, you put a token on the board that eventually will trigger the end of the game. Neat actions. There are actions to build out your hive. There are actions to move the queen bee around and explore, to get resources. There are ways to convert, ways to get seed cards, to get better actions, things like that. Just a really neat worker placement that has fascinated me every time we've played it. I have yet to win it. Eventually I will win it. You'd think after 7 or 8 plays I would have gotten something done.
And twice without me even being in the game.
No, twice I have lost by 1 point.
It's just fate.
1 point.
You're not expected to win this game ever.
No, apparently not. This last time I didn't even come close, but I was very distracted because I was hosting the event that I was playing in, and so I was constantly up moving around. So
Is that what my problem was last night? I won no games that I recall.
I don't know. Do you ever get up and go stir the meat and stuff in the kitchen? And
No.
that's not a good excuse then.
Darn it.
Anyway, my number 6, Apiary.
Okay, we're going to stay in space.
Okay.
And this was your number 18. You called it Unknown Planet.
Oh,
but most people
Lord.
call it Planet Unknown. Anyway, but this is all about exploring a planet
Yeah.
by putting things out and going up tracks. And that's the part I really like about it. I don't like the polyomino things, all right. I like it enough
the
that
tech
because
tracks.
you have the tracks that you're going up and you're racing up these tracks to get points and different things and new technologies and new civilizations. Yes, I know. That's why I said I tolerate the polyomino part so I can play with the tracks.
Okay.
I'm not a big polyomino fan, if you don't know, but this is a game that I don't mind.
Yeah.
The polyomino part. There's
Yeah.
only a few games that's polyomino that I care for. So.
The fact it made it to your top 10 is amazing.
Well, we've played this a lot.
We have played this one quite a bit, yes.
Yes. This is one of the games when we sit down with new players and you start teaching and I just check out. I'll either get up and go do something else while you're teaching it, and because I already know exactly how to play it,
and-
the plan on how to play it.
Yeah.
and-
I want to start teaching the expansion again.
And it
That
has
one was
luck in
really
it because it
good.
depends on what the person who's the first player on that turn is going to pick is what you're going to get.
Yeah,
But-
you've only got
so
two
there's
choices
a lot
every
there's a lot
turn.
of pivoting in there though, but you still have an idea of what you need to do.
Right.
So
Yeah. no, it's a good one. I love
Yep.
this game.
That is my number 6, Planet Unknown.
My number 5 is a crossover. You've already talked about it this video. I want to say it was your number 9 or 10. I don't remember. Anyway, again, perfect Earth Day game. This is Earth. I really enjoy this one. I like the simultaneous action.
Mm-hmm.
I love the games that there is no downtime.
Mm-hmm.
You can play a 5-player game of this, and I don't even remember if this is 4 or 5. I think it's 5. I think in the new expansion coming, it makes it 5 or 6. Anyway, I love the games that have a decent player count that there is no downtime for. Mm-hmm. One person chooses an action, everybody else does a lesser version of that action. So everybody still gets to do it, and then everybody activates the board that they've been building. So, and you hinted at this on when you talked about it, but when you're building out your 4x4 tableau, after every action, so say I chose the yellow action, everybody else does the lesser action, and then every one of us gets to look at our tableau, and starting up in the top corner, just like you would read a book, left to right, top to bottom, you get to activate every yellow power on every card you have. Mm-hmm. And that just is so satisfying. So especially to see how they build out and, okay, well, in order to activate this card, I really need dirt. So I'm going to make sure I get dirt up here so that I have the dirt to activate this card when it comes up.
Yes.
So it's just really neat the way it all builds out. I really enjoy this one. But yeah, that is my number 5. Yes, my number 5, Earth.
Yep. Yeah, I knew it was in your top 10 someplace, so I figured I'd leave you something to talk about.
Oh, I appreciate that.
My number 5 is probably more than likely, if I remember right, a crossover, and a very high crossover, higher than what my number 5 is. This is new to the list. This is all about the Forges of Ravenshire. This is a really cool game. I'm not going to discuss a lot of it to leave her something to talk about, though, but this is a dice placement game figure like the North Seas series, where you put out a worker, do the action, take a worker from someplace else to do that action. This you're doing with dice, and instead of colors, well, colors do have something to do with it, though, but putting out the number on the number of pips on the dice is going to tell you how powerful that action is in that area. So, but yeah, and what you get to do, you get your dice back. The dice you pull back, you got your forge, you get to go run it through and
get to
depend
activate
on the color.
The forge,
this is a really cool game. I have a feeling it'll climb my top 100 the more we get to play with it. Which won't be for another 4 or 5 years until we get done with that other series.
Oh my gosh, you whine too much about that.
But this is Forges of Ravenshire, my number 5, and yours, like, it's in like the top 3 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
You don't know.
No hints.
All right, my number 4 was 6 last year. I don't think this showed up on your list. I don't have it marked as a crossover anyway. This is another resource management tableau builder set in a very dystopian world. I think you would call it dystopian. I don't know. It's a wonderful world. I absolutely adore this game. This has the drafting mechanism like Seven Wonders, where the cards are getting passed around the table and you're choosing a couple out of every hand, and you have to make decisions. Once you have your full hand of 7, you have to make decisions on, okay, which one am I going to build? Which one am I using for the resources only, and discarding them? And eventually the ones that you're building are laying out in front of you. You're using the resources that you are throwing away the cards for to help get these built. Each card requires so many resources of different colors to build them. After they've gotten built, you flip them over and they go up into your engine, and this now becomes more resources you get permanently instead of just one time. Mm-hmm. What I really find interesting about this one is that as you're building them, you're kind of going down the list of resources. So everybody's looking at their engine and going, okay, how many grays do you get? And everybody counts up all the gray cubes on their engine. Great. You take those, you fill them in on the cards that you're still building. And if you manage to complete any, that card now goes into your engine immediately and becomes immediately active for whatever color it's good for. And then you move on to the blue, and then you move on to, I think it's the black, and it just keeps going down the list. And as long as that color hasn't activated, by the time that card gets put up into your engine, you can still activate it that turn. I love that aspect because it's a neat puzzle as to, okay, if I use my temporaries to get this one, it'll get me more grays, and then I can use those grays to activate this one during the production process, and I'll still be able to get my yellows off of it. So I really enjoy that puzzle of making sure you can get everything done in 4 rounds.
Yeah.
I love this one. But yeah.
Yeah, this one didn't make my top one.
I didn't think it did.
I like what it does. I think like the last time we played, I felt it just went way too fast.
It does. It goes really fast.
You don't even really get a good,
Oh.
I feel like a really good
I do.
engine type base really going.
Yeah, I love it.
Because you're like, oh, well, I'm going to have to build this little bitty guy to get that over there and this little bitty guy to get it. But you can't really get the big ones unless you get them at the beginning and
You
just
get 'em
work on them
committed,
throughout the
yeah.
whole game. And hopefully you get them finished off by the time the
I've
game
never
ends.
had that
but-
problem. This is one of the few I've ever played solo and even enjoyed it solo.
Yeah, I played it solo too.
Yeah,
But,
that was good.
Yep.
I enjoyed this one. But yeah, my number 4, It's a Wonderful World.
okay. My number 4 was number 5 last year. It was your number 63 this year, and apparently just made the list for the first time on your list. It was like outside the top 100 last year. But we have played this, I think, a couple times this year now.
Okay.
This is all about London.
I forgot. How did I forget this was in your top 10?
This is
Oh my
London
goodness.
Cabby. This is a game from, what is it, 71?
71.
71, from 1971. So the looks of it is not the reason it's in my top 10. This is literally a pickup and delivery. You are a cab driver in London,
Yep.
starting off with one cab. And there are cards at the end of the board telling you where their passengers are at that need to be picked up. So you're driving your card 20 spaces at a time. This is a huge grid with the artwork of buildings from London with all the roads in there
Yeah.
that looks like from like the Mad magazine covers, like the same artist. But you are going 20 spaces at a time, and a lot of them, they're small. They're not big enough to hold your entire
No.
cab. So that's when they say the boot of the car is where the car stops, is the 20th spot. So yeah, you're going and picking them up, and once you pick them up, you draw another card to see where they need to go, and then you check on this chart to see how much money that you're going to make to get there. And the whole point of the game is to get $15, 15 pounds.
We always play to 15. They say to set a specific amount, and they suggest 15, and that's just
Sometimes
what we
if
always
you want a
play
longer
to.
game, it's 30. Because
Oh,
at some
good
point
Lord.
when you get up to 3 pounds, you can get a second cab, but now you have to split those 20 movements between the 2 cabs,
Yeah.
and you have to move at least 5 on each cab.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. When you drop them off, you could get a tip. You might get stiffed.
might
You
get
could get a
stiffed.
little bitty tip. You get a big tip. It's just a lot of fun. There's traffic
Traffic jams.
jams that come out every round. You flip a card and it tells you where to move the traffic jam at. And if you get caught in the traffic jam, you just ain't moving that car this turn.
Yeah.
But
That's a good
this
one.
is a lot
I
of
love
fun,
this
and I
one.
really like it with a lot more players.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun with
We
4
played
players.
it with 4 players before. We played it at 3. We played it at 2.
Yeah.
And I do like it with
I
more
like
players.
It,
But
it plays
this
up to 6.
yeah, this is one of those
Can you
games I would
imagine?
play at any time. And we've upgraded ours
We
to
have. I'm
make
not
more
huge.
sense of it. I mean,
It makes it faster to
yeah,
play.
maybe you'll put a picture here. You can kind of
There
see
you
what
go.
they are. We put dots on certain cars, so basically, so we know who's in what car and where they're
Yeah,
going, and
we have ways to
where
mark
pick up
which
people,
cab is which location.
which did not
and
come with the original game though. But
No.
the game, like I said, the game's nothing to look at, but it's a lot of fun to play.
It is. It is. I would love to play the 6-player sometimes.
Yep.
All 12 cabs on the board. Ooh, that'd be
So
fun.
this is number 4, London Cabby.
All right, my number 3 is a crossover. It was your 32. It is new to the list. This is one that we've played a lot of. I have taught a lot of. This one takes us back into the, not under the ocean, but back to the ocean, protecting the coral reefs.
Oh,
This is Reef Project. This is one we discovered at Gen Con last year and managed to get a copy of it on the last day or second to last day, whatever it was. We ended up taking it to the retreat,
And
and
that's the
I
retreat.
taught that, oh my gosh, so many times, but I loved it. It was great practice for me in
I
teaching a
taught
game.
it twice, I believe, before the retreat
Retreat,
started,
yeah.
then at least once after the retreat was over.
And at least 3 times during the retreat.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, anyway, fantastic game. With Reef Project, you are managing a small boat that you are driving around the coral reefs and dropping reef balls to help build the reefs to help protect them. But you are traveling from island to island out in this part of the ocean, I guess, and gaining resources. You might be picking up crew members. You might be doing various things, but each of the islands offer different resources or different actions. So it's not really a worker placement. It's more of an action selection, but you have to manage your fuel levels, your energy levels in order to be able to get from place to place. I've always enjoyed this one. It's a longer game. You wouldn't think it would be, but it can easily go up to about 4 hours. Well, not 4 hours. I think our longest game so far has been 3 hours with new players. So it does take a little bit of time sometimes, but I still love it. It's such a neat.
Yeah, this was one of those, it was kind of a fluke that we got into.
Yeah.
Because I'm searching for events at Gen Con to go to, and I seen
Yeah.
at first all I seen was release party, and there was tickets still available. It's like, ooh, cool, what is this? And then I seen Reefs and Reef
I was
Project, and I was like,
thinking
let me look it up, see what
Reef.
this is. And I was like, oh, this sounds actually kind of cool, because I was thinking
Yeah.
a lot like you like the game The Spill.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is kind of on the same basis as Spill.
Yeah.
But you're not fighting oil. It's just trash and trying to rebuild
Right.
the coral reef. So, and I was like, well, that sounds really
Yeah.
cool. Well, let's go. So I got us tickets to
It
go to
was
that,
good.
and we
It's
liked it.
good. I love it. Yeah. Anyway, my number 3, Reef Project.
My number 3 is going to take us way, way, way back. It was your number 54. It was my number 2 last year. This
Okay.
is Dinogenics.
Okay.
And
You're
I think
lucky it
this
made my list.
Yeah, this is. Do what? Did you say you're lucky it made your list? It was
yeah,
your
it's-
54.
I know.
It was almost halfway through your list.
I don't know
But this
why.
actually dropped by 1 only because of another game, which would make sense. Anyway, though, but this is all about building your park. It is the most, I think, realistic to Jurassic Park than any other game is.
That's what they say. I've
This
never watched
is,
Jurassic Park.
you are
so-
building a dinosaur park, and you are getting dinosaurs to get into your park. You're building structures for hotels and different attractions for people to see. But the thing that's different from like Dinosaur Island is, in Dinosaur Island, you're rolling dice. This one, Dinogenics, you have cards with the dino's DNA on it.
Yeah.
And you got to have a certain amount of those DNA cards to be able to build
Yeah.
that, make that dinosaur, and put them out there. And there is one of the buildings you can build that gives you goats. Well, the goats is what you give to the meat eaters of the dinosaurs, so
Yeah.
that they don't
Rampage.
on the next round, though. There is ways to steal DNA of dinosaurs and make them for yourself and throw them into your zoo.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool because of the different things that are going around. You can sell DNA back to the market.
Yeah, I like the fact there's
You
a
can
market.
buy
so
DNA out
it's-
of a market.
It's not 100% luck on gaining the right cards because
Right.
there's the market and there's the boneyard.
Yeah.
So you have 2 places you can go and dig for your DNA.
The boneyard,
in
though, will
addition
give
to
you a
drawing for it.
scandal.
It does give you scandal if you go to the boneyard.
But there
yes,
are ways
but-
to get rid. You go to another place, you get rid of the
But
scandal.
man, if you need that pterodactyl DNA,
That's in
and
the
that's the
boneyard,
only
yep.
place you can find
And
it.
sometimes it's, like I said, it's worth getting that scandal because, like I said, it's easy to get
It's
rid
easy
of.
to get rid of. You just have to go to the right
We have
location.
actually played this with the newest, basically all the expansions,
Yeah.
even the newest one that's coming out that's soon, hopefully soon to be delivered from Kickstarter.
Yeah.
At the retreat, because Jeff Knapp had a copy
yeah,
because
he
he
had
did
a
a review
demo
of
copy.
it and he had it there, and we got to play. What was it? It was a 6-player game.
5.
5-player game.
5. Yeah.
Yeah. And none of us had ever played that big of a game, and I thought it went real
I
well.
thought it
The
went
board
well.
is so huge now.
It is.
But
It made it harder in seeing what was on the other end of the board because the board was so big and there were so many players you couldn't just kind of scoot around.
yeah.
That was my biggest problem is I was in front of one area of the board and I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
really see what was happening way over there. So, but otherwise, yeah, it was a great game.
Yep. Yeah, I like this game, and it may jump up again when the expansion, shows
expansion
up.
shows
though,
up.
But this is my number 3, Dinogenics.
Okay, number 2, as predicted, is a crossover. It was your number whatever earlier on this video.
Number 5.
Okay, sure. This is Forges of Ravenshire. This is one that, I mean, we haven't gotten to play it very often, but gosh, it really caught my attention when we played it.
Yes, it did.
I love that dice placement and dice retraction. Put out the dice, do the action, take back a different dice, do the action. And you're doing it based on, that part of the board is all based on the pips on the dice. Color means nothing. But when you're pulling it back, you're thinking about the color you're pulling back because, 1, those are the colors you're going to have to work with next round, but 2, they go into your forge and now activate your forge. There's 3 different colors, so if you've built up your green forge, you may not want to pull back a purple die. You may want that green die, even if the action it gives you is only a level 1. You may want that green die. So I love that thought process of building out your forges to activate better, to get more resources and stuff.
To be able to upgrade your forge
this
for
one,
even more stuff.
This one thoroughly got my attention.
Like I said, more plays of that it might.
Well, I can't go much higher than 2, but you know, there's always number 1 it could bump out. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's my number 2, Forges of Ravenshire.
My number 2 is your number 6. It's new to the list. It is a game I have never lost and a game you've never won.
Bite me.
And you've played it 2 times more than I have.
I played it twice without you, and I've still lost this game. Yep.
This is Apiary. This is just a really cool, as I see it. It is an engine builder because your hive is an engine.
Yeah, it really is.
And you are building that. So when you're pulling your guys back, that's when you run your engine and you're getting all this cool stuff to help you out for when you go out again. Yeah. But it's one of those, you put your bee in there and then you add that bee and another bee that's in there usually, and it might give you a +1 to that, and that gives you the power of that action, which is really cool. It's kind of like what you were just talking about, Forges of Ravenshire, that the number is going to tell you how powerful
your action is
going to be.
That's true.
But you could be like, okay, so they have that one in there. I'm going to, when it's my turn, I'm going to put it there and get a bigger thing. But they could go before you and pull back their people.
Yeah. Or somebody else could go and bump that person out.
Yep. Somebody else could go, if you're playing more in a 2-player game, somebody else could go there, bump that person out, and just put 1 there, and now you've got a weaker power if you go there.
Yeah.
But I really like this. It's got the cards that you could play for in-game points or instant resources and stuff. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's good.
This is my number 2, Apiary.
All right. Well, our number 1s have not changed. I will tell you that much. If you saw last year's, this is going to be a little bit of a repeat. My number 1 was your number 98. It is my number 1 last year. This is Terraforming Mars. I have not even gotten to play it this year. I've played Ares Expedition. Matter of fact, I had a long conversation with somebody on Friday night about the benefits of the base game versus Ares Expedition. We had differing opinions. I like Ares Expedition, but I love that building the planet. I love the card play of it, which you get in Ares Expedition, I get. But I love the card play of it and the matching your symbols and being able to make some of your cards more powerful because you've been able to collect more of those tags. And just building out the planet with the cities and all of now, especially now we've got the 3D pieces from the deluxe edition. But building it out with the waters and the forest and all of that. I adore this game. I always have. It has been my favorite for a very long time. I've almost gotten to play it twice this year and still have not gotten to play it. It just the timing just never works out when we go to an event. Either I'm too late to get into the game or we have to leave and they're just starting, or eventually I will get a play of it in when we get to the teas for sure. Anyway, that is my number 1 last year and this year, Terraforming Mars.
My number 1, like you said, is the same as last year. This is Firefly the game, especially now with the 10th anniversary edition. This was your number 92.
Because I obviously do not enjoy it. Hey, my number 1 was 98 for you, so I don't want to hear it.
You had a really bad game of this. The last time we played this, you had a really bad game.
But that was after I'd done this list.
I know, though. But
if I had done this list after that game, it would not have made the list.
Well, you know, if I'd played that game before I made this list, again, it may have fallen. I don't know.
Anyway, talk about your number one.
But Firefly, the board game, is all about, it's a open world game. It does have a little bit of a pickup and delivery kind of aspect because you are a pilot of a Firefly, or there are a couple of other ships you could be.
Yeah.
You have a core on it that tells you how far you get to move your ship each round. You are going around looking for crew to help you do jobs. You're also going around to different places to do jobs. If you ever if you ever seen the series or the movie, the characters in that are the characters in this game, all the way down to the ones who really don't have names, but you remember them from the series, like the Mutters and all that jazz. It's really cool. But I like the fact that it's such an open game. There is goals you're trying to race to get, though, but it's just free across it. And there's no like, oh, well, you're at that planet, I can't come there. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can
This
go there.
is, by definition, an open world sandbox of a game.
There
It
is
absolutely
take that
is.
in the game, but it's not really a brutal take that because you're
Yeah.
moving because as you're going across, you're drawing cards, and you could come up with the card. The person to your right moves the reaver ship within one space of
Where
the
you
area you're
are,
at, or the reaver ships could surround you, or the alliance ship is moved closer to you, and it's just really cool. I mean, like I said, you can divert around what they're doing. They just might get in your way, and it just depends on how mean you want to
Until
play
they
in the
board
game.
you.
But this, yeah, because if they board you and they take your
They take all your stash.
take all your bad things, and it's hard to get the
all
bad
the things
back
you weren't
to
supposed
finish
to have in the
the
first
job.
place. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really cool because you have to build that crew the way you want it for the jobs you're going to do.
Yeah.
Because, okay, I'm really good in the guns and the mechanics, but I don't really have anything in negotiation, so I don't want any jobs to do that. So, because when you go to someplace to get a job, you pull a couple cards, see if you want them. If you don't want those, you can put them back and grab 3 more. But you can't keep doing that. You can't just keep picking through, though. But you get the job you want.
Yeah.
In the whole misbehaving thing, you want your crew to be the way you want it to be, so you can get through the misbehaving parts, though. But it's a lot of fun. I recommend you playing it if you have never played this before. But this is Firefly the game, my number 1.
All right. And that is it, guys. We're done.
Finally, as long as Katy turned on her microphone. You've seen her look,
It's
right?
reading. It's reading.
You even look down and you got a monitor in front of you to tell you if it's
I did
reading.
look down. Anyway, that is it. Please let us know what your top 10 would be. Let us know what you think about our top 10 picks.
Whose do you agree with more?
Tell Greg he needs to play Underwater Cities and what was the other one you said? Life of the Amazonia. You need to play them both more. You need to figure them out because they're good games, right? Okay. Anyway.
Until then, we'll see you at the next one.
So, my number top 10 is...
Your number top 10?
My number top 10. Jesus Christ. I give up. Anyway. Stop laughing. Anyway, my number top 10 is Marvel... Did I do it again?
You have bloopers now for the end of this reel.
Okay.
Okay, back to seriousness.
Back to seriousness.
Your number 10.
Oh boy. Okay. Anyway,